Hello, once again. It is Darian64 bringing you yet another playthrough, and this is Castlevania Curse of Darkness, the second PS2 game, and I think it's the third 3D Castlevania game in the series. And this is the game that includes characters that we see in the Netflix adaptation for all you folks that have seen that show. Well, I got something to tell you. I'm about to expose that show here today on this playthrough, because all the characters that you see in the show, well, not all of them, but most of the characters you see in the show are in this game, and they act nothing like they do in the show. They are completely different characters, and I cannot wait to show you that. So let's not waste any time, and let's get into this. If you couldn't tell, I have a very deep-seated hatred for the Netflix show. I've mentioned that many times. You know what? Let's call ourselves the Durian, since I stink at playthroughs. I'm a stinky fruit. Ah, yes, there's all my other files. Alright, what do we got here? Intro narration. 1476, long time ago.
Just when it seemed that there was no hope for mankind to prevail, out of the darkness and despair, a champion arose. A true-blooded vampire hunter named Trevor Belmont.
Yes.
Belmont and his comrades triumphantly slew Lord Dracula.
Yes, this is the sequel to Castlevania 3, just shortly afterward.
However, the evil one did not pass from this world in silence. With his final words, Lord Dracula left a demonic curse that enshrouded
Dracula's
all
curse.
Europe in misery and torment. Ravaged by hideous plague and dire famine, the people's hearts turned black and murderous. The weak were slain without pity, while the land was pillaged and scourged without remorse. 3 years have passed since the death of Lord Dracula.
3 years after Castlevania 3. Okay.
Of Dracula's curse.
Name drop. Well, name drop for Castlevania 3, because that's called that's called Dracula's Curse. But anyway. Okay, there's the castle. And there he is. There's the man himself, Hector.
Show yourself, Isaac! I know you're here!
Hector! Is that you?
Oh, there he is.
I finally tracked you down.
With a very, very, very diametrically opposed design compared to the Netflix show. Very different.
The fool who betrayed our Lord Dracula.
I have a lot of things to say about this, but we'll wait for the cutscene to end.
My revenge upon you for the death of Rosalie!
Also, yes, that is Crispin Freeman voicing Hector and Liam O'Brien voicing Isaac here. Two very prolific anime voice actors, if you're familiar.
Relinquished your powers. You couldn't even protect your own woman. And now you think to defeat me? Lord Dracula is gone, but his powers are still here in Valatia. Even you must realize. Devil forging.
So right now, they're basically trying to spout exposition about their past, which they're not really doing a good job of here doing. That's why there is a prequel manga that exists that you can read that goes into their backstory and explains exactly their relationship and why he's seeking revenge on Isaac right now. But basically the gist of this cutscene is that yes, Isaac was responsible for the death of Hector's wife. We don't know why or how, it's just that he is. But we find out in like the prequel manga.
But that wouldn't be very satisfying, now would it? You deserve a most gruesome fate for the humiliation you brought upon me 3 years ago.
Again, more out of context exposition that we don't know about. You gotta read the manga. Very strange for Castlevania to do this, to expect you to read supplementary material to understand the backstory of these two. I think that's the only time they've done it.
In the end, the glorious vengeance you seek will not be yours. It will be mine.
Liam O'Brien does a fantastic job as Isaac, by the way. He really, really hams it up here. So yes, Hector and Isaac are both Devil Forge masters. They basically have the power to manipulate monsters with the aid of Dracula's powers. And Hector is basically a rogue now. He defected from Dracula because he has a moral compass. He knew it was wrong. So we're on a journey to stop him. So as I was saying with Isaac's design, because I have a lot of things to say about it. Oh, by the way, yeah. This is one of those games where we're not using a whip, we're using a sword. Matter of fact, it's similar to Symphony of the Night because we use a whole inventory of items, like head, armor, accessories, and different variety of weapons. So about Isaac's design, because I got some opinions about this. When it came to the Netflix show, Isaac had a very drastic overhaul in his design. They race-bended him so that now he is a black person, and his personality is different too. They made him more, I guess, fleshed out in the sense that now he has more depth to his character. He is more, I guess, relatable, I guess. His motives are more understandable. That's at least from what I've heard, because again, I do not want to watch that show. But from what I understand, anytime I get into a discussion about this, they always say, oh man, the show's version of Isaac is much better than the game's version of Isaac because in the game, his design is so stupid. But that's the only problem they have, is his design in this game. Which is fair. I will give them that. Even though I like Isaac's design in this game, it is understandable why they don't like it. It is very out of place in this time period. It's very out of place. I will give them that. But his character in this game, the point of Isaac is that he is a psychopath. He sides with Dracula in his ideals because he is a sociopathic, psycho, bloodthirsty monster. That's why he sides with Dracula so much. He's a simp for him, okay? But in the Netflix show, he's more like a misguided good guy than anything, especially at the end. So, that's always been one of my points of contention for him, because he's not supposed to be just some misunderstood, misguided person. He's supposed to be a psychopath. And they do a good job of that in this game. Now, about the design, okay? You heard me mention that at the beginning of this cutscene, that they were trying to relay some exposition about these two that you need to read the manga for, because you're not going to get it in this game, right? My theory, or at least my headcanon for this, for why they made Isaac look so distinct and so over-exaggeratedly evil and edgy-looking is because they want you to look at these characters and understand who is evil and who is good. Because Hector and Isaac are both followers of Dracula. They both used to work with him. But they want you to understand who's evil and who's good here. And when you look at Isaac's design, you can tell he's evil. You can tell just by looking at him that he's evil, right? But when you look at Hector, you kind of get that heroic, angelic vibe, right? Now, here's what you can do, okay? I've even suggested this before. If you wanted to change Isaac's design, but also keep some familiarity with the fans, Ayami Kojima has done, like, concept artwork for him with an alternate look, where instead of the emo side bang look, she gives him, like, this, like, slicked back, frail hairstyle, which I think would have looked good. I would have actually liked to have seen that interpreted in the show and see what they could have done with it. But no, they didn't do that. They wanted to get woke points and completely change his skin color to something else, and he doesn't even look like Isaac anymore. And not only does he not look like Isaac, he doesn't even act like him. So he's not even representative of the character anymore. He's not even the same person. The only thing Isaac has in common with his in-game counterpart is his name. That's it. It's his name and his profession. That's all it is. They have nothing in common other than that. A fan of Castlevania would not be able to watch the show and be like, oh yeah, that's Isaac. No, it's not. But yeah, I've gone on long enough about that tirade about Isaac. But yeah, that's my opinion about this. I like Isaac's design in the game, just because of how distinct it is and how different it is. But it is fair to not like it. It is understandable why people would not like it, because it is out of place in this time period. But then again, Castlevania is a franchise that's known for having a lot of things that are out of place for its time period. That's normal. That's why I don't make a big deal out of it. Because, guess what? In this game, you get to use things like an electric guitar, a Gatling gun, a deck brush as a weapon. I mentioned this in my Castlevania 64 playthrough. Yeah, this game has a lot of goofy shit in it. So that's hardly... Isaac's design is hardly a deal breaker for me. I really don't care. I really don't care. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that a common point of criticism for this game, other than it being a 3D Castlevania game, you know, because people just hate on 3D Castlevania games, period, for no feasible reason. A common criticism is that they don't like the game because of how empty it feels, I guess. Not empty, but just how many long stretches of corridors there are. Rooms all look the same. It's all just hallways, like just these very long expanses of hallways that look the same. And some people have even called it like Corridorvania just because of how many corridors there are. I don't mind it that much. I never did. It's not a big deal to me. I guess I never really noticed that much because I was so enamored with the soundtrack that I was just taken away from it. I never really cared about what I was looking at. Oh, there's a chest here, but we can't open that yet because we gotta go through this door first. But yeah, I never really cared about there being long corridors in this game. I don't care. Oh, cutscene.
Is it coming from that tombstone? How conscientious of him. He carved the instructions into stone along with the most difficult visualization. So, that's how badly he wants me to regain my powers. Very well.
So now we're about to witness Devil Forge Master magic at work.
Released the tortured souls. Let me infuse him with my life force and awaken him to the world of the living. Immaculate being, appear before me now.
Again, Crispin Freeman doing an awesome job. Okay, so we freed this creature from being a statue into a living being. Wait, what? Who's this?
Well, devil forging, isn't it? Never seen that before. Quite.
You seem like a religious man.
It's enough to make your blood run cold. Who are you?
Like a priest.
Oh, my apologies, my lord. I should have offered an introduction. I go by Zed.
Zed.
For one purpose only, to purify this
Totally not an inconspicuous name.
See.
It's almost like Malice.
On the other hand, are pursuing the other Devil Forge Master, are you not? The one you see
Like, his name literally rhymes with dead. Come on,
made
man.
his escape through the back of the castle.
It's a cool name, but
Concern is this to you?
it's like we know you're evil,
He is
man.
the one protecting the curse. Ergo, he is an impediment to me and to all those who abide in this land.
I see. Very well. I, Hector, thank you for your help. Now, if you'll forgive
Notice how Hector is talking in this scene? Notice how he talks to people and acts in front of people? Notice how well-mannered he is and how well-spoken he is? Yeah. He don't talk like that in a Netflix show. Nope. Oh yeah, that's right, we get to name these guys. It's like Pokemans. Oh, nope, not Kali. I forgot the button layout. Kali. Alright, let me see what we can name this fairy. We're gonna call her Navi. We're gonna call her Navi. I feel like that's low-hanging fruit to do that, but I'm like, whatever, who cares? Okay, it's just teaching us tutorial stuff about them. Yes, and they can evolve, too. Depending on what weapon you're using, you can evolve them into, like, different forms. And now, we can open the chest, now that we have the fairy. Nope, I didn't want you to do that. I want you to open the chest. There we go. I pressed the wrong button. Dragon Crest. A crest made from a carved dragon bone. Looks like it should be placed into something somewhere. Yep, we know where that goes. Because we saw a door that had an indentation in it. And we're going to go put it there. Which means we got to backtrack all the way to that door. I guess we can kill some enemies because we do get XP in this game. Unlike Lament of Innocence, which you don't get XP for killing enemies. Which is a shame. I feel like Lament of Innocence could have benefited from having XP in a proper level up system. That would have been nice. But yeah, look at how long this corridor is. Look how long this hallway is. Like, I guess I can understand that criticism, but again, it was never really a big deal to me. I just never really cared. And plus, there is a movement tech. You could just, like, dodge roll your entire way there if you wanted to. If it's that big of a fucking deal to you. The soundtrack, though, it's like... The soundtrack is so good, and by the way, I posted this on Twitter. I think that this game is Michiru Yamane's peak. This soundtrack, overall, has some of the best music in Castlevania that I could listen to on repeat. And it's a shame that people sleep on this soundtrack like this. This is like this track, Anaeus Machine Tower, Garibaldi Temple, Morphia Aqueduct, all those tracks are so good. I really wish people would listen to this soundtrack more. It's really fucking good. And I guess that's why I don't care about how long these hallways are, because it gives me a moment to listen to the soundtrack. Maybe that was the purpose. I don't know. Maybe that was what they were going for. Maybe that's why they made these long-ass hallways, so you could appreciate the soundtrack, I guess. That'd be funny. I wouldn't even be mad about that, because the soundtrack's really good. You just get to take a moment to breathe and just listen to this god-tier soundtrack. Okay, we got a level up. Nice. Come on, hurry up. Alright. We're almost there. Come on. Get in the hole. Get in the giant gaping hole. Look at all these skelly-mans. I like how these skeletons aren't just, like, bare-bone skeletons. They have, like, these, like, gray cloth all over them. That's interesting. And, of course, keeping in with the video game tradition of, like, having skeletons be, like, the first enemies in the game. Although that's not true. The first enemy in this game was, like, a giant gladiator thing. Oh, wrong button. Alright, I think we're back in the room we need to be. More skelly-mans. Oh yeah, Hector has combos you can do. I totally forgot to show that off. If you press square and then circle after a certain combination, you can do like a variation of moves like that. 1, 2, bam. 1, 2, 3, circle. Go. Yep. And the stronger the weapons you get, the more combos you get. Right now, I think I can only do 3. But it's pretty cool. I think the weapons you get swords, axes, hammers, spears, and special items, which are just like a random assortment of anything. It could be a Gatling gun, it could be an electric guitar, it can just be anything you want. It could be any fucking goofy item you want it to be. This game is something else. Alright, so there's that door they were talking about. Something fits into this door. Will you insert the dragon crest? Yes, I will. And what lies beyond this door? A lot of enemies. Like that gladiator we saw at the beginning. We're just gonna sword combo his ass. There we go. This game is so fun. I really wish, I hope, that we get a remaster of this and Lament of Innocence. Maybe even Castlevania 64. Like, I could see them doing like a Castlevania 3D collection with all the 3D Castlevania games. That'd be nice. Because they deserve some attention. These games deserve some attention. Especially this one, because, you know, with the Netflix show being as popular as it is, you'd think they'd cash in on this one specifically, because it has all the characters from the show. Especially Lament of Innocence, too. That's the origin story. Like, both of the PS2 games have merit to get remastered. Both of them do. Because I'm sure a lot of new fans would like to see the origin story and whatnot, right? But I think that should wrap it up for an episode, right? I think that'll wrap it up. But yeah, hell yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the rest of this and seeing how this goes, because yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Castlevanias, definitely. But yeah, that should do it. I will see you then. Catch y'all later.